quiet tonight, yeah. Ready for the morning? What? Right?
6 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. You rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Also, Christina has the roll. We need approval of this evening's agenda.
Motion to approve this evening's agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Agenda is approved. Evening's consent agenda. All items will be passed in one council motion unless there is something someone wants to remove.
I'd like to remove an M and T. A couple questions, please.
Okay. To approve the consent agenda with the items. One and two.
Motion to approve consent agenda with the exclusions of N and T.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, consent agenda. Approved, minus the other one, Ron.
Yes. On M, I have to admit, I have my standard curiosity. Monday is short, but I know at the liquor store, we improved security, I guess, the procedures on the pull tabs, and there's still some issues with things not balancing, is that right?
I guess at $32.49 to the tune of that. Yeah, I can't speak for the Fire People Relief Association. They do have a new person that they're training in on their end. That amount seems like could be a miscount or something.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, we operate mainly with round numbers.
Yeah.
People don't.
It seemed like a very odd amount.
Yeah, so, I mean, I can't speak for them, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, miscount on an E-tab, but generally those, again, people don't operate on change. I mean, we don't. Nobody says, I want to cash out for, you know, 2 cents or whatever. So I would, yeah, I would say it would be clerical error of some sort.
And then P, it's kind of a surprise, I guess. It seems like there's a lot going on there, but we're apparently firing one company and hiring another. And is there a backstory on that? We can get an explanation.
We take bids from companies each fall, and Waste Management only has a 1-year agreement with the city. So I put that out each fall for bids, and this year a local company was able to come in lower. And you know, one of our policies of the city is if we can do business locally, we try to.
Yeah.
And although Waste Management has been, serving us for several years, we're gonna give Downs a try. This too will be a 1-year agreement. Yeah.
They're in Bemidji locally.
That is correct, yeah.
Bemidji is close to Waste Management, which is enormous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I noticed we had terminated, sent them a termination letter. or
Yep.
whatever.
The transition will take place this month. I'm hoping to have that all locked in by December 1 to make the move, so.
We met the requirements of termination or whatever, we haven't gotten
We did,
back talk from them or anything.
no, no,
No.
no, I tried to stay on it. It's a timely thing.
All I have. Motion to approve items N and T. I will move we approve items N and T on the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then it is. Anyone for the Blackduck Forum? No one. Move right to reports. Yeah, Mike. I see you're dressed for the occasion.
I sure am. Not really a whole lot to report, tucked up kind of the end of the fall year stuff and started getting snow equipment ready and everything, and that's just kind of where we're at. Tidying things up and starting to do some more organizing in the new shop now that we've got a little bit of time between the seasons here. Working on stuff like that. Anything for me from anybody?
I don't really know. Perfect.
I love it.
Sandra.
Don't have anything, really.
No deer season numbers?
Oh, I don't have your season numbers. I do know that it's, well, I do actually have your season numbers. I know that we're down about $1,400 from last year.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Saturday came over kind of weak on the bar side. Friday night was completely insane. People were coming in and leaving because we didn't have enough seating. So that could have affected our Saturday, saying it's gonna be too busy now. I don't want to, fight for it. But overall, really very good. We're hoping the second weekend still stays strong. We get, continue to have a little bit milder weather. Some not rain would be great. For personal reasons too, I really hate hunting in the rain. We finished last month strong. We got made up some ground there. Looking for our next 2 months to be busy. Again, it all depends on how quick we get ice on Red Lake. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the weather myself.
We do have a couple of really nice reviews on our Google. But you guys might want to check those out. But other than that, eating and drinking pool this weekend.
Anything for Sean? Nothing you need to address, nothing you need to address, okay.
Nope.
Still kind of on hold on the door, I'm assuming.
We're still waiting for parts from Clarity Glass. We have a couple things we have to do when we get it in. Mike said he'd help us with that.
Not snowing yet. Okay. Fire department.
Nothing really to report, Max, just I provided the packet that went out to all the towns for the next contract negotiation follow-up meeting. Discuss that in the work session, so, the council can see the full packet. With the supposed potential changes to the budget for annual charges. Other than that, that's just a reminder that that meeting will be December 14th at 7. At 6. The department did take possession of the DNR truck.
Good.
So that's been changed over. You saw in the consent agenda, the final
Yeah.
agreement was signed by the DNR, so that's done as well. The Public Works has the old tinker chassis.
We do, they're not completely done yet, but it was sitting outside and we had to get it somewhere, so. We stuffed it into the cot bay for now. Brian and Terry, when they get time to finish what they need to take off, it's so. It's somewhere warm and dry, at least for them.
Good. It's good. If there's nothing else, we'll move to the golf course. Which is kind of slow right now.
Yep, pretty slow. Only thing to report that's new since we closed was that we are #2 golf course in that Bemidji area thing, so I'm like, yay us. I just think it looks really good for us as a small 9-hole course to be compared to everybody else in that area, so I think kudos to Blackduck for that. So Jennifer's gonna be doing a little article on it, and I just think it's something
Well,
to be happy about.
you can take a big chunk of that credit.
Thank you. Yeah, well, everybody can. I mean, everybody worked hard and you guys are the ones that are keeping it going too, so. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of exciting. There's a lot of tough competition and I was just really shocked that we're even considered really, so. Yeah, pretty cool.
And how do we? I want to say. How do we use that? How do we use that to our benefit?
Right. Well, I did put a little thing on Facebook, like we just did a little like, hey, look at us. And then Jennifer's gonna do a article and then I'll probably try to share that again too, just to let people know. 'Cause I mean, it's kind of a steal for us to do some marketing on that and let people know that we were the #2 in the area. And #1 was Town and Country Club, which to me is just a completely different animal. I mean, I'm surprised that it's even. They've been #1 since this whole thing's been going. They're an 18-hole. They have a 5-star restaurant and bar, and I mean, it's just not even apples to apples. So, in my opinion, we're #1, and when it
In the
comes to
9-hole first.
I mean, honestly, I was shocked. Sandtrap got a ton of publicity this year because they got new owners and they added kind of the same thing. They boosted up their restaurant and then they're trying to add the possibility of doing something with the land that's adjacent to them. So they're working really hard too. And so to see that I still got above them, I was like, oh, wow. And I didn't know that we were in the running. So I mean, a lot of businesses you'll see before the voting, you'll see them, hey, vote for us, hey, vote for us. And they're constantly putting it up. I don't know why, but I didn't even think that, I didn't even know that I've never voted before, so.
Yeah, because it's by popular vote, it's just.
Yeah,
The
and I don't know if you
public
have to
votes
get nominated. I don't know anything about it, so I just think that's also like a kudos to us because it's not like we were out pushing people and trying to, hey, get on there and vote for us, It was just a complete surprise, so. So I'm pretty happy about that, so. That's it, that's all I have.
Okay. Anything for Misty? Thank you. The library.
Have you got anything?
I don't, no.
There's a library board, that something?
They did. This is November, right? They did not.
If I'm
I'd have to look. I couldn't make it for some reason, I was out of town and
Any reports on the new front block from,
I haven't, no, okay.
I've heard good things so far.
Definitely safer, looks nicer.
All right. Item 6.
I have a couple of items that the personal committee needs final approval on from the board. The first one should have been approved in the October meeting. That was an oversight on my part when I developed the agenda. And then the second one is the job descriptions. Those are ready to be approved for the deputy clerk and the city administrator.
Okay. Then we need a motion to approve these 2 items, please.
Under one motion or separately?
I think you could do it under one, but be
As
sufficient.
long as they're both mentioned, yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve the wage increase to administrative staff for the completion of certification and the job description for deputy clerk and city administrator.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, the motion carries. On to you, Christina.
I don't have a lot, but I do have some news since the work session as it pertains to the grader from the county. Shortly after our last meeting, I got a letter from the county highway department stating that we could move forward with the transaction. The transaction is kind of a three-way transaction. The county is using our purchase funding to lower the cost of their purchase. So the money is going to CAT and they're taking it off of the total from the county. So what I have on the agenda for the council to approve tonight are the closing documents from USDA for the CF grant. And then I would also ask for final approval for the purchase of, I have a separate request as to how the funding will be spent prior to USDA sending it back to us, because it is a reimbursable grant, much like we did for the skid steer when we did the first one. So we have to show proof of payment and invoice, and then turn in all the final closing paperwork to USDA, and then they send us the reimbursed the check for the $48,000. So the documents in the agenda are the letter of conditions. Sorry, there's a couple of them. The grant agreement, and that's it. Yeah. The rest of them are just the liability insurance from LMCIT and this letter that I stated. So if I include the quote from the highway department as to how much their grader is costing, we're getting a deal.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Because there's no way in the world we could afford $475,000. But they understood that we are in need of the grader, and since they have no use for it at this point, they were okay with making the transaction now and us taking possession of the grader before the snow flies, so that was nice of the county.
Greenland, actually.
Yeah, it helps us a ton.
All right, so,
I'll move to approve the loader grant closing document. One request. Or is that?
No, that works. That works.
1 second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries.
And then Max, my recommendation for payment is to take $53,750 out of the general fund reserve account. That's the money market on your fund balance report. And then 10,000 out of the public works reserve fund.
Okay.
So the 48 will go back into the general reserves, and the public works will use up all but about 3,500 out of that reserve account. So we'll be out about about 5-6 grand after that.
On the general.
Correct. Considering that's all the out of pocket we're
Yep.
really doing compared to $475,000, I think
we're-
that's
we're
kind of
gonna-
a steal.
We're gonna take your recommendation.
Yeah, but once I get the approval of payment and I can get it to Cat's represented rep, then I'll get the invoice and I can send in all the paperwork. So my hope is that this transaction will be completed in 23, so the money will go back in before year end.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, go for it. I have a
Okay.
question on this.
Good, all right.
You got it.
Okay, what else do I have to tell you guys? The funding, for the duck restoration is going extremely well.
See that?
I'm actually very shocked, humbled. But, I did send out a flyer to, a number of the businesses that are, on the chamber listing. The Fireman's Relief has committed some money, Blackduck Dental, we've got some private donors, and, we're basically at our, we're only $1,000 away from what our goal is, so my hope is that if there's a little extra basket of money left over from some of the private donors, that, we can come up with a good plan to beautify that corner once the restoration is done, and make it a little bit more outstanding than what it is now.
Sure.
So we've got the winter to make those plans put in progress. Thank yous have been sent out, just so the council's aware. And
Yeah, because yeah, wow.
wow is right. Yeah. Yeah. Aside from that, a couple of dates, I don't have a whole lot. Obviously, the county special election is tomorrow, so polls will open here at 7 and close at 8. They're only expecting about a 20% turnout, so,
Should be a short day.
well, no, polls still stand to stay open. It actually makes it very long,
Oh, you
and
don't-
there isn't anybody coming in to vote.
You don't get to go if it's
No.
snow or-
No.
Gotta keep them out though.
Yep. So get out and vote if you haven't done that. And then this Friday, November 10th is Veterans Day. And in observance of that, this office is closed, including the DMV. On November 20th, prior to the work session, there will be a public hearing for the conditional use permit at 80 Summit, which is Jenna Maz's chiropractor, I included the documentation application for that. Planning commission recommended it move forward, so that's the date it will be. Also that night, there's a public informational meeting for our wellhead protection plan. There have been notices sent out for that as well. And there will be somebody from NPCA,
No, Department of Health.
Department of Health. Ugh, I'll get it right. Speaking on that, and I'll put him at the top of the agenda. So you can get out of here. So I included that notice for you guys in your packet. And then we'll go through a regular work session shortly after those two items are completed. Moving through the month, the 23rd is Thanksgiving, and by policy, we observe the 24th as well, so our offices will be closed those 2 days. December 11th is the next and the last city council meeting of 2023. And the truth and taxation public hearing that will happen that evening. There will be no work session in December.
And just out of curiosity, is there a reason we're not following the normal first Monday after the third for that?
Depends on when it lies.
The fourth,
So when the Monday lands that close to the first of the month, I'll push it a week.
Oh.
And the reason for that, Ron, is to get the rest of our local vendors invoices in. It's extremely tight to get all of our bills in when the first is on a Friday.
the fourth, yeah.
So
The
that's
first Monday. I think it is.
correct. And there's only a couple of months in the year typically when that ends up happening, so we try to schedule it accordingly. And that's all I have unless people have any questions for me.
The next BDC meeting is.
Day after tomorrow.
Right, so it's this Wednesday.
Correct.
And then anything else? I have one addition to the, we're down to number 9, good things happening. I have one addition to that. Okay, for the council report, it's that stories. Well, I don't know if quite out actually, but, I just want to remind everyone, there's an observance of Veterans Day, this Thursday. The 9th at the school, there's a veterans dinner from 5 to 6:30. Served by the Legion Auxiliary, and then there's an excellent concert by both the high school band and chorus starting at 7. So I know the dinner is free for veterans and a free will offering for non-veterans. And urge everyone to attend, but last several years have been excellent. Both the dinner and the concerts.
Is that Friday or Saturday?
That's Thursday.
Thursday.
The concert, Veterans Day is obviously Saturday.
Just so I'm clear and I heard you right, the dinner is Thursday, but the concert is Saturday.
No, Veterans Day is actually Saturday. Everything is Thursday,
Oh, my
the
apologies.
9th, yeah.
My apologies. Okay. Now I got it.
We'll try to get some information on them, quite a bit on our sign too. Yeah.
Anything else? Halloween was fun.
Right, they're cold.
A little chilly. All right, well. We'll second the motion. There you go. All in favor? All right, yeah, I think that's a record.
Yeah, and when you go